What is up, y'all? Shorty C94 back at you again. More sneaker related content. And we are back with episode 68 of Shorty's Sneaker Conversations. What's up, Caramel Wonder? What's up, Carl? Try to get our guest in just a second. What's up, Amy? What's up, EW Kicks? What's up, Yokisha Knight Rider? What's going on? What's up, Souls and Things? Thank you again for that. What's up, Shoes Addiction 82, Black Tom Hagen, Loves Jones, Neo Chasin. What is up? Just waiting for our guest. Well, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Let me see if I can get this right.
I'm good. It's good to see you. It's been a little minute.
Yes, it's been a minute. Sorry, I'm like stacking books so you can see me. You know I'm super short.
I like that, Nike. I like that.
Thank you. I'm always about women, Cleveland, and sneakers. So this cactus plant was official. It made sense.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I do want to, before we get started, thank you for having me on Six Kicks. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that. Felt big coming down the radio. One, you gave me my 93.1 FM shirt. I always wanted one of them with that logo. I might break that out.
I had to have you. I couldn't have Six Kicks and I have you on.
Nah, I appreciate that. Well, before we, get started into the quarters, I always, ask every guest on here, what's the most positive thing you've been able to take from the world post-pandemic?
For me, I think the most positive thing that I got from the pandemic was just time. I feel like before the pandemic, I was just running everywhere and had so much to do. And the time that we got back to chill with family and just do that. So to me, that was the positive thing, was just getting to chill with family and relax.
For sure. Now, for those, everybody knows who you are, but for those that don't know who you are, would you, mind introducing yourself to everybody?
Yeah. So my name is Sax Girl Genius. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm the creator of the Cleveland Sneaker Ball. I used to host a show called Six Kicks. And yeah, I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, where are you at now?
Okay.
What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm currently the manager of influencer marketing for the Washington Wizards. So I'm in DC now, but yeah.
DFB? That's good. Well, before we get into the first quarter, if you don't mind me asking, how do you I know you've, done what you do for a while, but how do you enjoy, working for an NBA franchise?
I love it. Honestly, it's so much fun. You get to go to basketball games every day. And I think with what I do, I get to be creative and kind of think outside of basketball. So my whole job is about tying the team to culture. So I get to do fashion stuff and work with different musicians and artists and celebrities that come to the game. So I love what I do. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to tie things together, and you're one of the best people out there to do it. So I'm glad that you do it.
Thank you.
Problem. Now, before we get into the first quarter, I do have to ask what shoe you broke out today.
So y'all are catching me super just got off work. So I'm real simple. I really have on a shoe that's sorry, my iPad just want to go to sleep, but this is my everyday shoe right now, which is the Amamanier 3s.
It's every day.
I wear these so much. They're so comfortable. I love them. They kind of can go with everything. So I was to be honest, I was do I even need to put on shoes? I was this is a sneaker show, so let me put on some shoes. I was I'm in a house.
Yeah, you ain't got to. I don't have on those shoes, so you ain't had to put on that.
Yeah, so these are my shoes today. So this is what I was rocking today, and I really really love the shoe. I like the story behind it, so it's one of my favorites right now.
Now I know we hadn't talked in a while, but like I knew you had that shoe. I'm like, well, if any the shoe, Sax has it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely knew
Yeah, yeah. My friends at Ama Manier, they definitely put me together with that one, so I was happy to get that.
that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, as we jump into the first quarter, the first question I usually start with is, what is your earliest sneaker memory?
My earliest sneaker memory. That's hard. I mean, let me think. So my mom still has my first sneaker, which was a Nike Cortez. So like even when I was like a bit like is this big, it was pink and white. So we still have that, but I don't remember that. So I would say I'm kind of torn between my two first sneakers like memories. I kind of remember being younger and getting like I think it was like the air swoops or whatever. I think my dad just always wanted me to be a basketball player. So I mean, if you don't know me, by the way, I'm 5 nothing. Like there was no way that I was ever gonna make it anywhere in basketball. But so those were, and then I think like when I got a little bit older, I remember being obsessed with like Allen Iverson and like the Reebok sneakers, and like I was loving the questions and answers, and the shoe is zipped, like it had a zipper. That was like the best thing ever to me. I was like, these are fire. They got a zipper on them.
I remember that.
So that's probably like one of my like earliest sneaker memories, probably.
Okay. Okay. Respect. Respect. Now, what's that next sneaker that really was like that had you was like, all right, I'm in this. You know what I mean? Like, what was the next one? Or can you remember?
Dang, that really was like I like love sneakers situation.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be really weird, but I had like a moment where I was really, really obsessed with like not even like the Bape shoes, but like the style of like Bape sneakers. And then I remember Adidas had this like patent leather colorful sneaker, and like to me I was like I have to have these, and my mom was like these are the ugliest sneakers ever. But like I went through like a phase with those, and that was really like probably like I was probably like 13, 14. That was it for me. And then I think really once once I started working in sneakers or really, really started getting older, I think for me it was the Space Jams. Like for me, that was like the first shoe that I was like, I'd always loved sneakers, but to me that was the first like big, big sneaker that I was like, I have to have this shoe. I don't care what I gotta do. Somebody is giving me this shoe. Like so, and I actually still have that pair, like the pair that I got when I really was like in love with them. So for me, that was probably like the one that was like, yeah, this is a thing. And then it just went all downhill from there.
Well, I do have to, give you props. I mean, I know some of, the ill stuff you have. I like that you have the old pairs too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an old, well, I'm old, so I like, I
Whatever.
like it. So,
Yeah, no, I keep the old. I think it's important to like. I love keeping. First of all, I haven't grown in forever, so it's easy for me to say that. But like, even like going out and finding older pairs, like I have a pair of like OG twos, and I just like, and they came out with twos after that clearly, but I was just like, no, this y'all don't have these. Like these are the originals back when people, and then when they came back out, people was like they hating on twos, and I was like, now they love them, so who knows? But
yeah,
I like keeping the old pair, and I might get another pair if they come out, but I like the old ones too. We've been in this a long time, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Now, I do have to ask. I feel like you told me this before years ago, but like, what area of Cleveland are you from?
I'm from Maple Heights.
Okay, okay,
Yes, yes, I'm an East Side suburb girl.
all right. Yeah, I worked in Maple Heights for a long time, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I'm from Maple, but I didn't go to Maple. I went to Trinity, so I went to high school with the new mayor. But yeah.
well. Listen. Just knowing you all these years, I never thought you went to Maple.
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Nah, I mean,
Thank you.
no, that's a compliment. I mean, I'm not hating on Maple, but knowing enough people from there, I mean, nah, I never thought that you went to Maple.
Yeah, I'm eclectic.
Yeah. So nah, that's good. But you went to Trinity, which is still over there in that side of town. So
Still
okay,
over here.
hey,
Yeah.
but nah, it's good. I mean, just I asked you, I had to ask you, because if you went to Trinity, I mean, y'all had uniforms, right?
Yes, we had uniforms.
All right, so I know that for at least the kids I knew growing up with that went to schools where they had uniforms, the weekends were like like I got to wear my raw stuff on the weekends. So what was that? What was that first fit where you broke necks with it? Like, oh shit, there goes Sax. Look at her.
So funny enough, I was the kid that like, so even though I went to Trinity and I went to Catholic school, elementary school, everything, like when I would get back home, I was outside. So like as soon as I got home, I would do my homework, I would change clothes. So I'm putting on the fly fits to just go walk down the street at this point. Like I'm in these streets, even though like when I was younger, I wasn't even allowed to leave the street. Like I was like, I can go down the street, across the street, but I was wearing the fits. So like for me, like, I mean, growing up, it was easy for me just to have like a clean pair of Air Force Ones. Those were like super duper easy for me. And I would have on like my FUBU crop top and jeans or whatever, little Air Force Ones, like real baby girl-ish. That was like my whole thing. Those went with everything. Or like back in the day, like Reeboks, like I was obsessed with Reebok classics, had every color like you could have. So for me, that's what the first thing I was throwing on when I was getting out of school. Once I got to high school, I was more of like weekend stuff like that. I'm putting on whatever I have, but basketball games, if I wasn't playing, even going to school, I'm carrying my sneakers with me, like whatever pair. I'm wearing a pair and then carrying my school shoes. So yeah, we used to get those fits off.
Yeah. Now, I know I'm not supposed to ask a lady age. I feel like I should know this, but when did you come out of Trinity?
Huh?
When did you come out of Trinity?
07.
07. Okay. Ooh, so you was okay. So you was in high school, like all over print hoodies was big, the Bape, the
Yeah.
Lil Wayne was the king. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right. That'll help me with these next few questions there. So with you being in that mid to late 2000s, that was a good time for sneakers. I mean, I was trying to say I wasn't going to bring up our former employer in the show really, but I used to go to Shaker Square, hit them up all the time, man, because that's where they used to put all the shit. So during those times, I was there every week, because I used to run the Maple Heights seating.
Right.
So, we used to get paid every week, so I used to go buy a pair of sneakers every week.
Right.
So yeah, that was a good time.
Yes, it was cool. I think it was a little bit different for me with uniforms, but like I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to get off whatever I could get off. So
Yeah.
whenever my mom would hit the mall or whenever we were allowed to go somewhere, I'm like, I need these Air Maxes, I need this, I need that. Look, when I was a little bit younger, I needed the K Swiss. Like I really was like all over the place. Like
That's good. That's good. That's good. Oh man, good times. 2007, man. I go back to 2007. I would. All this gray would be gone. But
look, mine too. All my gray would be gone too. Look,
that's like designer gray. That's not like
nah.
real. Nah, you wear well. All right. Before we end the quarter, I do have to ask, what was your kind of like your early sneaker and or outfit influencers? Like, was that an older sibling, cousin, parent, somebody on TV? Who used to influence?
So for me, I grew up all around boys, so it was always like my cousins and they played basketball. I had an older brother, so he was always like telling me what to wear. My dad was a big sneaker person. So I remember my dad used to cut the grass in some OG Aqua 8s. Like that was his grass cutting shoe. So like it was really like sneakers were always a thing. Like my parents both loved them. They grew up with them and that's what they would put on me. And I would be the kid that always spilled Kool-Aid on my outfit, whatever. But they would switch it out for me. We had a backup. But yeah, so definitely like the family, the cousins, all that. That's where that's where it came from.
No, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. All right. So now we jump into the second quarter, which is more recent sneaker past, kind of like from high school or maybe college up until maybe a couple years ago.
Okay.
So where was your first job?
My first job ever?
Mm-hmm.
I worked at, I think it was still called Geauga Lake. It might have been Six Flags at that. I don't know. I worked there for a week,
A week.
a good hot week. They tried to put me in those little nets, and I don't care how old I was, my knees were not that good to be standing in those kitty nets all day.
Got you.
So
Got
if we're not counting that, after that, my first job was the Limited Two in Beechwood Mall.
you. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Those some good first jobs. I mean, I never worked at Geauga Lake, though I always regret not trying to work there as a teen because
Nah.
I could have been fresh sooner than I was
Nah.
about to just work there. But
Mm-mm. You
you
would
know,
have had your checks would have been crazy, but it's because you were at work. I don't even understand how that was legal what they were doing with us because we used to be at work all night. Like, bro, I was like, this can't be a thing.
wow, wow. And then you worked at the Limited Two. I remember that store at Beechwood Place. Was that like limited clothes for like the kids, right?
Yes, yes, it
Okay.
was limited clothes for the kids.
So with your first little piece of money, like when you bought a sneaker, do you remember that first sneaker that you bought?
Honestly, I think I kept it super classic and simple. Back then, like high school, I was a big Adidas girl. So I think it was just a pair of classic shell toes. Like I think that's what like the way I do like Air Force Ones now is how I did shell toes back then. Like, okay, this pair done. I need a new pair. Like that was kind of like it for me, especially because I had the uniform still. So like a white clean shoe was easy, but I felt like Air Force Ones were a little heavy for me at the time. So yeah, I was a shell toe girl.
All right, for sure, for sure. Now, I mean, you're into fashion, so I already think I know what you're gonna say. But during those times when you first started working and you was buying your own clothes, I'm sure your parents will still, copy you stuff too. But that was a really interesting time. So I have to ask you what brands, you were messing with, what I'm saying, back in those days.
Oh, let's see. High school, I was um high school, that was hard. What was I wearing in high school? Um I was wearing, I had this bomb Rockaware outfit. Like it was fire. This was probably early high school. Now y'all don't tell me like this was probably early. Like I wasn't rocking this like late high school, but it was fire. I remember it was like brown capri pants with yellow and a yellow and brown track jacket. That was my favorite outfit in life. Like I thought I was that girl in that outfit, bro. Like
Oh, that's a good time. See, I feel like Rockaware, like 07, 08, that was when the urban clothes started to die out.
yeah. That's
Everybody,
why I was like, this was probably early, but I was wearing like that. Dang, I can't remember. I was wearing a lot of I think I was wearing a lot of pink back then too, like Victoria's Secret pink. I was still pretty baby girlish. Like I was pretty much like velour sweatsuits. Like, yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like after 08, you either went what we used to call luxury skate, the streetwear, or either you went preppy like Hollister, American Eagle. It was like,
And I did a little of the preppy too. I mean, granted, think about where I went to school. I did a little bit of the preppy, but I think once I graduated high school, so like '08, I had just moved to New York. So for me, it was like a whole moving to New York opened up a whole different life for me. So I went hipster, like backpacker, nerd. Like that was like my whole look in New York. Like skinny jeans, dunks, like that was me. Like you big glasses with no frames in them. Like I could see perfectly fine. Why do I have on these glasses? like that was me. Oh, eight. Like you couldn't tell me that I wasn't Vashti.
yeah, I mean, I'm picturing you, but like I remember all of that being a thing, man. Like I
Blazers. Like I was really, really heavy into it. And I remember I would come home and go into stores like our store and stuff like that. And I'd be like, y'all don't have these? Like y'all not wearing this yet? And I would be like so mad. I'd be like, oh, this is why I live in New York. I was a little bougie.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even if we talk about how it was, we'll say at our store, that transition, it took a while for them to fully transition because I mean, I was a regular shopper there for a long time, and really by the time Villa came, I feel like that was when they kind of really stepped it up and was like, all right, we got to be different, you know.
Yep,
So I
for
definitely
sure.
on that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But I
So
think that time for me, like I said, moving to New York opened my eyes to so many different like that's when I really, really, really got crazy into sneakers living in New York. That introduced me to Asics and like I said, like blazers and that whole style and like brands like Kid Robot. I was Kid Roboted out. You would not find me in something that wasn't Kid Robot. Like that was just a different time. Like coming up in New York then, that was to me streetwear at its fine. Like that was fun streetwear.
like I'm still looking for a pair of Kid Robot Air Max ones. Like I know that they're gonna be either unwearable or crazy, price wise. So I feel you on that. Kid Robot, not a couple of the figures, and you know, it was good. It was a good time. Okay, so since we're talking, you know, late 2000s, um, now you're in New York. Was there any shoe back then that you really wanted that you were never able to touch just because it sold out, or you know, or was there?
I'm trying to think, is there a pair? I feel like there was, and I think it, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I feel like there was a pair of dunks at some point that I like was looking high and low for, but I can't remember what it was. But I will say I remember there were a pair of Asics that I wanted so bad. Like I was very, very into these shoes. But like I said, I'm a small person, so I have a very small foot. So they did not come in my size. And I was looking, they were like, they just don't come in your size, sweetie. Like that's just not it. And when I tell you I bought this shoe probably 3 sizes too big and I was gonna make it work, like
Wow.
I was like, I don't know what size shoe this is. It was probably like an 8 in women's, like it translated to an 8 in women's. And I probably still have that shoe too. And I swear I was gonna make it work. I wear a 4 if y'all don't know. So this was like
A
not
four.
gonna work. Yes, this was not gonna work at all.
Oh,
But I was like, because I'm so small, my feet look super small. So I can rock an 8 that doesn't fit and it'll look normal because that's like a normal size foot. It didn't work.
wow.
But now oh wait, I think there is one pair. So back in the day, I remember I waited in line with my brother for in New York for some infrared sixes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like obsessed. And once again, it was like, yeah, girl, this in your size is not gonna happen. Like we just not, it's just not gonna work for you.
Mm.
But that's probably the one that I wanted. And to be honest, that is a memory I always remember and bring up because to me that introduced me to a different version of sneaker culture of like camping out and like learning that community. And to me that was so dope. Like that was like the craziest thing ever. I was like, this is awesome. I just made new friends. Like this is crazy. So like that was a dope moment, and that was a shoe that I did not get at that time that I was like hurt by.
Yeah, it's crazy about the. You know, I always hear people tell their camp out stories, and I never got to camp out for a sneaker. Because I was always in a store where I didn't really have to do it.
You were the plug. Okay, I get it. You
Yeah,
you,
I mean,
you the
like,
man. Okay.
well, nah. We'll say that title for Zach. We'll say that title for Zach. Um, yeah, I'll say the first when I was at Villa in 2010, 2011. That was the first time I was really seeing people camp out for shoes, and it would be people where I'm at Lee and Harvard, like Stu has on a Bape hat and a BBC shirt, like he's definitely not from around here. You know what I'm saying? Because that that's common now, but not back in this new days. So I'm like, man, what you here for? I'm here for the Jordans tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
All right. Oh man, good. Yeah, so I kind of feel like I missed out on something because I never got to do that. You know what I mean? And
I do miss that. I feel like yeah, it got messier sometimes, but I feel like there was like such a community, and I feel that was a different type of sneakerhead. You really put in effort for the shoe. Like
yes,
you devoted some time to this, so it was almost like you deserved this shoe. Like it was like. So I think that like as sneakers have become more popular, in some ways I miss that because it's just kind of like okay, whoever just has the most money is going to get the shoe, and it's just kind of like okay, but do you really care about it? Like, do you really love it the way I do?
yeah.
But the times change, and I feel like I'm getting old when I can say back in my day we used to, and so it is what it is now. But yeah, I camping out was something different. I remember one memory I have. I wasn't camping out. I was actually working at a location, and we were doing the Yeezy release, the Nike Yeezy release, and that was probably my first event that I produced. Like, and the line was around the mall. Like this, we were in the mall, and I was like, there are so many people here, and that was like the first time I think I ever did like we did a raffle for them. But like we like brought them like food and coffee and stuff. But I was just like, this is wild. Like that was something I'll never forget. That was a crazy experience.
Yeah, yeah. To me, that's where it changed. And then, working, you know, um, even in stores after that, like, I feel like when the Adidas Yeezy happened for foot sites, boutiques, that kind of killed first come, first serve. The Adidas Yeezy killed first come, first serve, in my opinion. Because that's when everybody was like, we got to find another way to do this. Kind of started with Supreme foams and the Supreme dunks, but the Adidas Yeezy took it to another level. I feel like where it's like we can't have them come in store. Something might happen to the store. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely remember. I remember those midnight releases and working those and the lines and people trying to bang down doors. Yeah, it got wild, but
I was after that Concord release. I was glad when they went to 8 a.m. 8 a.m.
yes, yeah. That was the one. That Concord release was stressful.
Yeah, I mean the combo for the Storm was the Black Cement 3 because that was Black Friday, but the Concord was just like a whole
Yeah.
thing. It was crazy. That's one of the things to me that changed and kind of made sneakers the way they are now.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So before we go into the halftime portion, were there any releases that you bought in the late 2000s or even early 10s that you was loving at the time, but now you're like, eh?
Yeah. There is.
Okay.
Um there was a moment in history, and it seems like it's kind of making a comeback, but where Nike did this whole dunk wedge situation. And when I tell you I was eating those up, I was
Oh man.
eating those up, bro. Like, I had like the dunk wedges, and then they did like a city pack. And I remember I loved the London ones, and I still have them, but I'm just like, I really wore these. I was just like, what was this? Was really a style for me. Like, this was a moment in history. So, those were probably something that I'm now like, yeah, I won't go back on those.
Yeah, when I was at the downtown store, so many of those, man. Those and the Air Revolution, they made the Air Revolution into
Yeah.
beds too. I'm like,
Yes.
people was buying them though. I'm like,
Yeah.
I it was a Chuck Taylor wedge. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was a couple of different Nike things.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, working for Converse now, I've gotten to kind of look at some things, and I'm like, I don't, I don't know if that's something that should come back. We need to leave that back
Yeah.
there.
Some things should just stay where they are. But it was a moment. It was a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like I'll say, for example, it was discussions about the I don't know if you remember the Chuck Taylor that was like knee high and it like folded over. I'm like, man,
Yes.
no. Like,
Yes, I do remember that.
no, no, we don't.
I mean, yeah, it was a thing. I mean, that's the same thing as like even like all sneakers, like the knee high Timberland boots. Those had me in a chokehold for a good minute. But like,
I remember that. I remember that. Oh man. Oh man. Well, now it's halftime, so we're halfway through the show. So I do have to ask you, working for the Wizards and being in the DMV area, has that made it? I mean, I know you've already lived in New York, and of course, you lived home in Cleveland, but has being in the DMV made it any easier or harder to get releases, or do you still just, whatever?
and actually, I was it I won't say it's made it easier. I've been blessed to have some great connections to get sneakers. But I will say that I've gotten a lot more opportunity out here. Like I've gotten a lot more love from like different stores and like on the influencer side, like those packages and things like that. Like I've gotten a lot of love on some shoes that I would not have gotten if I wasn't here. So I'll say, yeah, it's helped out a lot. I mean, it was nice to come home to some Joe Freshgood New Balances at some point. I was like, oh yeah, like I needed these, and it's New Balance. I'm in DC. Yeah, this made sense. I really needed these.
Now, I'm not hating. I love Joe Fresh. Like, I had to get both of the Converses when they came out. People don't even really mess with the Pro. But I just don't. And I know that's the thing for that area. I just don't understand those low 990 shoes. Like, it used to just be gray and white, but now they do it colors. I just, give me a 997 and up. I can't do any of the lower numbers, man. Like, I don't get it, but it's a thing now. Like, I know
Honestly, I think I owned one pair of New Balances before I moved here, and now it's like between the Joe Fresh Goods releases and then the Rich Paul stuff. Like I was just like, I love New Balance now. Like the Amide Leon. Like I've been eating. Yeah, that's New Balance is taking over my closet.
that's another thing. I mean, I'm not saying but I feel like having been around you enough, there's certain things where I'm like, oh, I know Sax got that. Like I knew you had a Rich Paul's. I think you had an ALDs. I should say ALD. I'll never say it right, but like it's certain stuff like that 550 back in the day, 5-6 years ago, like nobody would have wore that shoe. But now, I'm waiting for the high top. I need the high top. That's what I'm waiting for. But it's a good shoe. It's a good shoe.
It is.
Man. Well, before we jump into the third quarter, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I want to know, like, you asked me the question of, like, what was my shoe in the early 2000s that I bought that I was just like, why do I own these now? That you would just never buy. What is that for you?
Honestly, it's a lot of SB Dunks that I bought between, like, 2005 and 2008. Some of them, I mean, they go for a lot now because of, whatever.
I was like, not the SBs.
Like, I was looking at the Motley Crue, the Dr. Feelgoods, like it's lime green with a red swoosh. And I had like a live mechanics outfit back in the day I used to wear with it because it matched it perfect. But I'm like, man, what the fuck am I gonna wear with this now? So a lot of that shit, being down here in North Carolina now, it's always hot. It's either a white tee or the winter white tee is just a gray hoodie with nothing on it. If I can't match that, I'll just wear a gray hoodie with it. You know what I'm saying? It's but a lot of those it's some shoes that I like, but they just didn't age well. They just weren't made well. A lot of the Griffies from the early 10s did not age well. You know what I mean? Like it's like they made the midsole paint with whiteout or something like that. It's just chipping and cracking. So it's a few things. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind first.
Okay, so then my next question for you is like, I got asked this question the other day on a panel during All Star. So what's your like controversial sneaker hot take like currently? Like what's a collab that everybody loves you think is terrible, or a style that you're like, no, everybody's like, this is fire. Like what's your controversial hot take?
Well, I'll say I've been tired of Jordan 1s and Jordan 11s for years. I'm Jordan 1s is still an $80 shoe for me. Like I can't believe
that's true.
People pay what they pay for them. I mean, I've gotten caught up in some of the hype. I mean, when I was with Hibbett Sports, to me that's really when the one exploded. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of tired of Jordan 1s and Jordan 11s. I've been tired of 11s since the old company. So that's been a thing for a while. I don't like. I already told you I don't really care for the 990.
Yes.
99, 91, 92, any of those. But I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm surprised people like the Adidas Forum.
Interesting.
They're Jordan 1 for right now, the way they do it. They got an OG high, they got a mid, they got a low, a lot of collabs with it. But I'm surprised that, women especially, like it's a bulky 1984 basketball shoe that's not an Air Force One.
I'm actually with you on that one.
You know, because I'm like, really, the form? Hmm.
I'm with you on that one, and I might be with you a little bit on the one thing. I just always bring it back to once again the back in my day. But I remember a point in time when we couldn't get the world to buy Jordan ones.
Yeah.
Like we used to, remember we used to put them on BOGOs and
Yeah.
stuff. Like we used to be like, please take these.
It's stuff that we used to do, like Nike would be like, no, no, now. You know, back then, it's cool. Yeah.
Like you buy anything, we will give you a pair of ones for free. And now they're just like amazing.
Even though you and I mess with the two, the way people used to treat the one is how people treat the two now.
Treat the two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, another thing people will be shocked with is I like mids. You know, because I made a status. I'm like, look, I got 85s, I got 94s. I could wear some mids, man. And before 2008, all the Jordan ones were made like mids. But if you know, a lot of people weren't into it then, so they aren't going to know. So
yeah,
these are a few things, you know, that just kind of circle around here every now and then.
the mids thing is interesting. I always get mad at myself when I like mids, but there are certain ones that I mean, there are certain mids to me that are great. The blue, the great mids, like I would take those in a heart. Like that's a fire shoe. Even the was it like the strawberry milks and the chocolate milks? I have those. I like those. I like that shoe. But yeah, that's an interesting one.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I really went out on the soft because my wife was smart. She bought both of them. I really should have bought the chocolate milks, you know what I mean? So, but I didn't because I don't like dunk mids because this it's just I can do it with Jordans because it still looks like an Air Jordan 1 to me. It's just like
Yes, I'll give you that.
that mid dunk is a
Dunk
concoction
is
that
weird.
started with SB. I'm like, why couldn't they just make it a lower or high? You know?
That was a little strange to me when I first put it on. I didn't know how my foot felt about it. Like I was like, so the strawberry milk was the shoe that I wore to sneaker ball this year. They hadn't released them yet, and I came up on a pair. So I was like, I have to wear this. Like, yeah. But I didn't know how my foot felt about it initially, but I liked it. I liked the feel. It was cool. I messed with it. But so I can do a little mid
Yeah.
sometimes.
And I mean, you've got like a great shoe size where I mean everything is gonna look good in your size.
Yeah.
Some of the Air Maxes y'all kind of take an L on because of the bubbles, but it's not many. It's not nothing you would probably wear anyway. So, you know, yeah,
I am glad that they started making kid sizes look a little bit more like the adult sizes. I will say I appreciate that.
okay. All right. So before we get into the third quarter, I have to ask you about All Star. I wanted to come back, but when the tickets got past the budget I had, I'm like, I guess I'm just not gonna be able to go back. You know what I mean? Because I just like I mean, because I know I'm gonna sound bougie, you know, but having been a previous Cavs season ticket holder, I can't go to Loudville, man. I can't go up there. Like I'm used to the bigger seats. I'm fatter. You know, I'm used to getting Mercedes-Benz Club, the free food. I'm used to all that shit. So
Right.
I can't
We're
just go.
not going to the 400 level.
Yeah, I can't. And I'm not hating on anybody who did, but how was it? I know you was there. How was it?
At All Star?
Mm-hmm.
So this was my hot take for All Star. I did not want to see a basketball the whole time I was in Cleveland. I gave all my tickets to everything away.
What?
I was like, I don't want to go. I need a break.
Oh, yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, you always, I get it, you know.
I was like, I see basketball every day. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. But also, we didn't have any players we had players in the 75, but we didn't have any players participating. So I just kind of was like, yeah, I don't need to be there. But I heard everybody had a great time. I was at All Star. I just didn't go to any basketball events.
Okay. Now, before we go, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but all right, with y'all being called the Wizards, you know, y'all were originally the Bullets. You know, I know why they changed the name, Washington, D.C. I get it. Is there ever any pushback if you try to do some throwback stuff and they got the Bullets with the stripes, or is it just all Wizards all the time? Like, how does that work? But if you can't answer, I understand.
I will say that we like to hang on to the Wizards title.
Okay.
We pay homage to our past, but it's a little bit easier for some other style brands to pay homage to that more so than it is for us.
Sure, sure. All right. One last question. Again, you don't have to answer this with either. Now, I know Michael Jordan played for y'all for 2 seasons. Is he like in y'all's lineage at all, or do you all just act like that never happened?
I mean, how we gonna pretend like MJ didn't happen?
Hey, it might have just went right from Chris Webber when y'all were still the Bullets to Gifford and them. I don't know, you know. I wanted to ask that. I was like, oh, she's gonna get mad if I ask too many wishes.
It's all love. It's all love. It's a part of our history.
You know, because you know you know me. You know I'm a basketball guy, so you know that's a bad. But all right. So we'll jump to the third quarter, which is sneaker present. It's always usually the most interesting part of the show because everybody has their different takes, and we've already shared some hot takes already. But right now, Sax girl genius style icon of the city of Cleveland. What is your favorite shoe to wear right now? Like, is that I'm on my year 3, or is it something else in the running, the Joe Fresh Goods, or what's the first shoe? Like, all right, I'm gonna kill him with this today.
That I'm gonna kill him with, or that's like, okay, I gotta run out the house, so I'm gonna put this on.
You know what? One of these. Tell me, give me opposite ends.
Okay. I will say that you hit the nail on the head with the I'm on my near 3s and the Joe Fresh Goods. Those are some of my go-tos for sure. I'm trying to think what else. If I want to go with I'm gonna kill them. So it used to be my I'm on my near 3s, but then I just like I love these so much that I just wear them all the time. So like when I thought I was putting the fit together that I was gonna kill them, it was my Laylee 14s. Like I was proud of that outfit for All Star. But this is my hot take. Get ready. That is the most uncomfortable shoe that I've ever worn in my life.
A 14? Wow.
That shoe. I don't know what they made that shoe out of, but my foot is like always at all times like, please take this shoe off of me. Like, I don't know what is going on.
Wow.
It's just so hard. Like, I just...
That's
I love the shoe. I love Laylee. I think that she does crazy things, but that particular shoe is just not built for my foot.
Okay. All right.
So.
Nah, that's fair. When the 14 was just a new Air Jordan, I had to kind of get used to just wearing it casually because of the way the back is, and that was the mid, so I can only imagine how the low is. So, okay. All right. I'm not gonna ask you where you get shoes now. You know, I'm not gonna ask you that. But
what? You can ask me where I get shoes. I don't know why everybody thinks that this is like a thing. When I tell y'all I'm on sneakers app taking L's just like everybody else, I promise you. For the longest time, my sneakers app wasn't even working. I had to call Nike and was like, I don't know if y'all have me banned or what, but like I need to get back on sneakers.
Wow. Okay. I mean, again, I'm not saying this for everybody, but like I know you, and I don't think that you take L's at all. I just think you can touch whatever. So, you know, I mean,
I've been trying to find me like a little Nike boyfriend. I'm like, I need some help. Like,
hey, I'll just say, you know, working for Converse, so technically I'm a Nike employee. Like, we still had to get on the app. Like, we only get the love on the, you know, regular shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out these USC 6s right now. Like, hey, man.
Yeah, nah, it's hard out here. I mean, if it's something that I really, really have to have, I'll see if I can work some magic. But for the most part, I like to just be chill. And to be honest, I feel like I've been doing this for so long and I have so many sneakers and I feel like my apartments just keep getting smaller and smaller that I have realized that if I take the L, it's okay. Like I just didn't need that shoe. I probably just didn't need it anyway. So I'm like it wasn't meant to be. So.
You know, I had to tell some of my young dudes, like, you know, sometimes it's just not going to be for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just not going to be for you. You can't, you know, people are like, well, you got everything. I'm like, I appreciate that, but I don't have everything. And 2021 specifically, I never took more L's than I did in 2021.
When I tell you, I had not won a shoe or sneakers app since I hit on some. I think the last shoe I had got from sneakers app until like relatively recently was like the LeBron 16, like the women's one that he did. Sneakers app was not my friend. Like they were like, you got that. That's all you need in life. Like I don't know if I accidentally returned something and they were mad about it. I don't know what happened, but they just were not messing with me.
You got that Harlem Fashion Row 16, huh?
Yes, that's the last thing I got.
Did you get the yellow one or the kind of cream colored one?
The cream with the gold, like the tanny with the gold and the tan leather.
Did you? Because I knew I was at the first sneaker ball. Did you wear those? I think you wore those today.
I did.
Okay. I remember. That was such a good event. That was such. That
Thank
was one
you.
of the things I miss about Cleveland the most.
You can always come take the trip. You can come to Sneaker Ball.
Yeah, for sure. We gonna talk about sneaker ball in a little bit. All right. So right now, I mean, again, we're both, years deep into this life we chose with the sneakers. What is the biggest influence on you buying a pair of shoes right now? Is it the nostalgia? Is it the colorways? Or is it just vary by release?
It does vary by release, but I find what moves me most about a sneaker that I want now is actually the story, the marketing. Which, I mean, I know I'm a marketing person, so I think that drives me more, but I think that some of the stories that are being told with these sneakers, like I think that's why I like the I'm on my near 3 so much. Like the story they put behind it was crazy. I loved the video that they did with the Joe Fresh goods, but like I love the stories behind the sneakers and hearing that. But then also for me, I'm getting old now. I work for a basketball team. I stand up for long hours. Comfort, 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 comfort. Like, I cannot get away from comfort. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, to me, like, I still love, like, my Yeezy Adidas, stuff like that. Like, to me, they're just so comfortable. Like, I probably have more pair of Pharrell Adidas than any human should ever have. Like, those NMD Hue shoes, like, I keep buying them up because they're just so comfortable. Like,
Yeah. I recently came up with a pair of the multicolored ones from 17. Like, I was happy. Like,
yeah, the last pair I got the NERD, like the anniversary pair, and I was like, yeah, I needed these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see. I can see you wearing those. I can see that. Oh man. So, what is a shoe that you have that's come out, we'll say, in the last 3 or 4 years that you feel like didn't age well? In popularity or comfort or.
I can tell you one that I wear now that I don't think is going to age well.
What's that?
To be honest, I was like, I don't know why I bought these. My Balenciaga sneakers, designer sneakers to me, and I felt like I betrayed the world buying them. But I was like, I got sucked into the peer pressure. I was like, I need one pair.
All right, so we talking the stock, or are we talking the triple S? What are we talking about here?
The Trek, I don't know. I think they're still in my suitcase. They're like, I call them the Balenciaga Stumpers. I don't even know what they are. They're like the Trek, the tech Trek ones, like the big, yeah. They the DC Stumpers. Everybody in DC got a pair. I was like, I need a pair.
Okay.
And I wear them now, like with a certain fit, some sweatpants, I can get them off. Now, if you ask me like 2 years from now, what I'm gonna do with those, I don't think I'm gonna do anything with them. But
I feel it. Like, I'll say this. Like, I have some, Balenciaga Arenas. You remember how hot those were, like 2013?
yes. Yes.
I've been married for almost 5 years. I have not touched those shoes since I've been married.
Like, those were not gonna get me with the peer pressure. Like,
hey,
I was like, I'm not falling for this peer pressure with these.
Hey, I had to have them, man. I was still trying to be, cool and shit back then. I had to have them. I don't even know where those things are.
Yeah, so for me, that's the pair that's not gonna age well. I just know it's not. And then actually, I do know one other pair that I bought. It's probably not as recent as like 3 years, but it's a recent one that to me, it didn't age well, which was like when Jordan did those women ones and like the ice colors, like the ice gold and the
season.
Like the pastel-y colors. Like, I still wear them, but to me they just don't have the same pop as they. I don't know. There's something about them that's just like missing in it for me. So I still have them, but I almost never like grab them.
Yeah, I remember the company really pushing those well at So I
That's why I probably bought them. I was like, it was a great event. But
my wife has a couple. I think she has the aqua ones and the wheat colored ones.
Yeah, the season of her pack. She just said the season of her pack. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the shoe. And actually, I saw somebody else wearing them the other day. And I was like, I do have those. why don't I ever wear those? And I don't know why I never grab them, but they just, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what is your most recent sneaker pickup? Did you buy anything in Cleveland when you were there, or get anything, or?
I I did receive some shoes. Actually, I'm not even gonna cheat. I just got a pair of shoes in the mail. Hold on.
Nice.
I literally just opened these up before we got on. So I guess this would be the most recent pickup. The Serena
Oh, okay.
Air Force Ones, which they're cool.
Yeah, I saw those on the app. You know what I mean? That's definitely an interesting take, but I feel like that could be something over time.
Yeah, these were a nice little gift that I received during All Star. So I'm gonna put some together with them. You know, some wide leg jeans and a. I mean, basically what I got on right now, I could rock them with this. But yeah, so this is the most recent pickup technically. I also received some of those June Ambrose Pumas.
Okay.
That's a fire collection. Like that's a fire collection. Those are dope. But in terms of like what I actually just bought, uh, I don't know. I've been chilling for a second, so I think those would be my most recent two pickups. I've been chilling.
Okay.
I needed a break. I needed to rest a little bit.
Have you bought a LeBron sneaker since that Harlem Fashion Row 16? If you have.
I have not, but actually, there have been pairs that I want. I really like that they're doing like the throwbacks, like the, St. Vincent, St. Mary's, and all those. I like those. I just, as we know, me and Sneakers app have not been getting along. But actually, I don't know necessarily if I know what I would wear them with. I love them, but no. And I still, those Harlem Fashion Rows they have my heart. I don't know if I even need it. That might be one of my favorite shoes of all time. That might be my favorite LeBron of all time.
Wow. Yeah, I actually thought about trying to reach back for those since they did make them in men's sizes because I didn't really. The 16 came out when I was with Hibbett, and I was getting them, but I wasn't like buying them for myself. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. I've probably brought some LeBrons. Like, I think I bought those orange ones that just came out, but I didn't buy them for myself.
Gotcha.
They look much better on my nephew.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, this one may be a tough one to ask, but I do have to ask. So, if you had to pick between one or the other, Aleli May or Melody Ashani?
I'm going to Laylee.
Okay.
I love Melody. I like Aleli's sneakers a little bit more. They represent me a little bit more. Melody, I love like her streetwear stuff. I loved her jewelry. Like I have those finger rings and the earrings that go up, all that. But Aleli on the sneaker side, to me, like the way she builds in her stories and the colors that she chooses and the way she make, I love the fact that her shoes are like versatile. Like you can dress them up, you can wear them down, like even the ones with like the fur, like you could take the fur off or not. Like you basically have multiple shoes in one. Like you could get a couple looks off. So I love that. But I'm glad that the sneaker community was able to give Melody her flowers. She's been in the game for a long time. I think it was necessary, and I think they should do more with her. But I'm gonna go lately.
Okay.
That was hard though.
Yeah, I just with it being you, I had to ask because I remember those Reeboks that Melody had with the colors, with the eye, with the trinkets on the laces. Be like I always thought they were cool. I'm like, man, I wish these would if they would have been made for men, I would have got some of them.
But she's going to Foot Locker now, right?
I heard that's what I've heard, but I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. I think that'll be dope. I'm excited to. I think it's necessary to have a woman in that type of space so that they could communicate with us.
Yeah, I mean, and it's got to make stuff a little more accessible, because there'll always be the stuff that I'm not saying it's like that, but like people like you will have the fancy stuff. Then it'll be, for the regular folks, it's like, oh, this, all right, I'll get this. So, you know,
Yeah.
when I first read about it, I thought Finish Line would have been a little bit better, just because I feel like Finish Line kind of caters to women more than any of the foot, the chain.
Hmm.
Finish Line to me, they
But maybe that's why. Maybe Foot Locker needs to switch it up. I mean, technically, Foot Locker. Do they still have Lady Foot Locker? Like, is that still a thing?
nah, because
I was like, I don't even know if that's still a thing. But like,
it was one here when we first moved here, but since we've only been here for a year and a couple of months, and it's closed in the time that we've been here. It was
really, I mean, see, so maybe that's why they need that because they're probably not speaking to that audience. So
mm-hmm.
I think it'll be dope to see what she does and how she can authentically create a conversation with women that love sneakers.
Okay. Now, while I have you on here, what are your feelings on Ivy Park? With the okay. I mean,
So it's funny. This came up over the weekend too. I love Ivy Park apparel.
Uh-huh.
So I think that Ivy Park is. I would say Ivy Park is not for the sneaker girl. I don't think it's for the Beyonce lovers, for the fashion girl. Like the apparel is what they focus on, which we know that. Like they might throw a sneaker in there, but it's not really like anything groundbreaking or new. It's just a new colorway. So I think in terms of the apparel, it's great. I'll eat it up. I have so many of it. I have one pair of the Ivy Park sneakers, and I like them a lot. They're very comfortable. But I think it's not necessarily supposed to speak to the woman sneaker connoisseur, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. It makes sense. Now, this is the question to end the quarter before we get into the fourth quarter. I can't wait to ask you this. So, you're a sneaker OG. You and I have known each other for a long time. So, if Nike, because it could happen, Nike comes to you like, all right, Sax, you can make any shoe, bring any shoe back you want, or make any shoe. What are you making, or what are you bringing back?
Oh my gosh, that's like the hardest question anybody's. I'm like, I don't know what to do. To be honest, I think because of nostalgia factors for me and how many stories I have in them and the time it played in my life, I would probably do a dunk. I want to say not a dunk because I feel like a lot of people are going with dunk now, but I would want to do a high top dunk. And it might have to be an SB dunk, but I would probably do a dunk. But I would do it the way they used to be done. Like in terms of like the patterns and the fabrics. Like I want to see like some real stuff on it. Like I remember I used to have a Paisley pair of dunks. They were like cream and I don't even know, but they were like amazing. But I would probably say dunk because that shoe played a major part in my life. Like
Okay.
That was a time for me. I'm going backpack style. I'm going back to a dunk.
All right. Look, I got one more question for you. Just one more before we go to the next quarter. I meant to ask this earlier. Now, with you working for the Wizards, right? Now, I know you have contact with some of the players. Are any of those guys actual sneakerheads?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
It's like us, sneakerheads.
That are currently on the team.
Or somebody might have ran across that's not there, might have got traded or cut. G League.
I think Montrez.
Harold?
It was I think he has a passion for sneakers, I think. I would say to me he is probably one of the biggest that I like actually talked to and knew.
Okay.
I think Kuz just likes fashion as a whole. I don't know if he's like on the level of like we about to talk about this shoe from 30 years ago situation, but I love his fashion. I love Diddy's fashion. Like I think Diddy is like on the lowest of keys one of the best dressed players. Like I think his style is like amazing to me. So those are like my three.
I have to remember Kuzma is over there with y'all. I'm so used to him being Lakers because I'm a Lakers guy. You know, I remember you brought it back to my mind because I definitely forgot about.
Yes, he's over here showing out, doing great.
Yeah,
We love
good,
him.
good. Okay, so the fourth quarter is sneaker future, sneaker future. So, all right, we're still kind of early in the new year, but what is Saxon's holy grail? What's that shoe that you just haven't gotten to touch, that you need, that you plan on getting probably before the year ends?
um, that I plan on getting before the year ends. I have a
I'm
Grail
trying
shoe,
into
but
existence.
I don't know if I'll ever touch it in my lifetime. Uh, um, my Grail shoe is the back to a Pharrell Adidas, the happy, was it the happy hue, the China pack? That was like the gold colorway. That's like more than probably I'll spend on my wedding right now. Those are the ones that I have wanted my whole life that I've never seen in person. Those would be it.
Okay.
If we're talking a pair of shoes that I haven't touched that I would like. Um, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know if I have any that I'm like. I think at some point in my life I probably did, but like I said, at this point I think about it like if I didn't get it, it's just not for me. I'm trying to think what's something that I would be like if I just came up on it. Yeah, I'm gonna grab these. Probably, yeah, I will say the shoe that I have not had that I might. I never got the Vashti twos.
See, I just assumed you had them. You know what I mean?
Nope, I've never had them. So those might be like my shoe.
Because I remember at the first sneaker ball, you remember old girl what with those?
Yes.
I was like, yeah.
Yes.
Because I hadn't seen a pair of those
Yeah.
in person in a long time. And it's hard to find a pair.
Yeah. She wore 'em. I remember T that we used to work with, she had a pair and I never got a pair. And that was like that might be the shoe that I just need to have.
Yeah, I forgot that she had those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I came one day, I'm like, Vashti too, you just wearing them like.
Right. Just out here though.
Yeah. I remember that. Okay.
OVO Jordan brand. I like that too. We could come with some of those.
Now I remember, getting those in at where I was at, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dang, man, we got some of these down here. I thought I had came up. Black ones and the white ones. I'm like, we had the little shirts as well. That was a good time. That was a good time. Those are the PSNYs. Probably the two shockingest things. I'm like, wow, we got these.
Right.
Yeah, good times. Okay. So with your current collection, where do you see it going? Like, what direction do you see your collection going in the future?
um to be honest, right now I'm in a space of more like casual, like I won't say less basketball, like I'll always be like a Jordan girl, but I think it's going in a more like casual direction. Like right now I've been getting a lot of like honestly a lot of Chucks. Like I've been living in my the Carhartt collaboration.
Oh,
I like those a lot. So I've been wearing a lot of that. Probably like a little bit more like Forces, Air Maxes, but I see it going a little bit more casual, I think. And I see it expanding in terms of brands. So we've already talked about like me getting more New Balance and stuff like that. I think the Pumas I got may have been like my first pair of Pumas, at least in a minute. So that was nice. So I see it expanding in brands. Um, so I think it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But
nah, that's good. That's good.
that's good.
That's good. Good. Nah, I mean, I always love to hear people talk about wearing Converse because you know what I mean. That's like which Carhartt you had? Did you have a camo one or the brown one?
They're like an army color. I got them for Christmas, but they're like a fatigue type of situation.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I like them.
yeah I wear those. I haven't broke out the brown ones yet, but the camo,
Really?
I've worn them a couple times. Now I know you got some CDG Converse up in there.
I do. I
How
do.
how many CDGs do you have?
Too many.
Too many.
Yeah. too many. And I just keep looking like, should I get another pair? Like, I'm like, okay, I have like the green ones. So first I had the green ones, and I was like, okay, I need the black ones. And then I was like, I need the low and the high. Okay, now I need the white ones. Oh, but these polka dot ones are cute. Yeah, so it's just a problem.
That's why I got to show love to Whitner. I know what he's doing out my year, but he's also social status. Social status down here is like this version of the company. So
I love social
yeah,
status.
they always have the CDG chucks on deck. It's just tough because it's kind of like we can get them, but we can't really. It's like I
Right.
sneakers app, so it's by chance.
They're yours, but they're not yours.
Yeah, it's by chance. Like I might get them come through my hands, but they always have them at social status. It's just tough to pay that ticket because you know how it is. You get used to paying cost or just whatever. Not paying for it at all. Just thank you. You're giving me. So paying $150, it's just like I've almost done it because I need the olive green pair with the hearts going around it. But
yeah,
I'm like,
that's the pair I had. That was my first pair.
Mm-hmm. See, but I'm like, man, I ain't gonna wear these enough to pay no $150.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, not the same cousin, the brother. So one of them got me the Carhartt ones, and one of them got me the green with the hearts. Mm. Like they both bought me for Christmas, separate Christmases. I'm like, they just know I love Converse. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's yeah. Well, I appreciate you showing love to the brand. Thank you.
It's a good shoe.
Thank you.
You can dress it up, dress it down. It's casual. It's easy. It's casual, but it's not like I'm too casual. It's like, yeah, these some Chucks, but they're CDG. Like, don't like.
Yeah, this ain't no regular $60 all-star here, bruh. Because a lot of people get lost on like, man, what's the Chuck 70? I'm like, man, it's a Chuck 70, and it's a CD. Yeah, so I'll be having to educate people sometimes on what's what. It's cool. All right. So what is on your radar next for this year?
I feel like I've said them so much, but I saw the little sneak preview of the 2. We know I love a 2, and we know I love Armand Vanier. So that has been on my list. I've been like, is this happening? Is this real? When is this coming out? Where is this looking? So that's on my radar. I think, what else is on my radar? Georgetown's.
The ones?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm interested in the Union twos more than
Union. Yes.
I need those Union twos, but
that's a good. I don't have any Union anything. So look, I don't. People think I just have it like this. Like honestly, I got my first pair of Off-White anything sneakers like last year. Like I was like, I just hadn't gotten to touch that yet. Like so
hard to touch it. It's hard to
yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get there. I got it done. Like I came up. Oh, that might be the last thing I hit on sneakers app. Actually,
what? Some Off-Whites?
Yeah, I got those dunks that they did.
So one of the 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little pickup there.
Yeah, I did get those. Yeah, I forgot about those.
Like I have no problem saying if I didn't have my job, I wouldn't have any Off-White sneakers.
I was struggling for a minute. Like I would just like some of my other friends that get to touch way more than I do, they have a lot of Off-White, and I would just be like, can I just look at them? Can I take these with me? Like
yeah, man, that original 10, like Chicago 1 is one of my favorite shoes anyway, even before the hype, but that Off-White one, like I'll always want that shoe, but I mean, especially with him not being with us now, it's like completely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. One of my very good DJ friends has that shoe, and I borrowed it for a panel discussion one year. And I was like, I'm gonna just take this with me. He was like, okay. I was like, are you serious? You're just gonna let me take this? He's like, yeah, you're gonna bring it back. I was like, okay, you say so.
Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah, Yeah. All right. So with all the exclusive stuff you have, what's the most exclusive?
To be honest, I feel like we just keep talking about the same things. But to be honest, for me, it's probably is that LeBron 16,
That's the
that Harlem Fashion Row. I have not seen anybody else with that. Like, I don't see it out. I don't see it. Like, I've maybe seen one person that has it, but that is not a shoe that I see very often. And I don't know if it was just a slept on shoe and nobody got it or nobody liked it. But to me, that's a great shoe, great story, great design. So that's probably one of the ones that's like, yeah, you don't have these. Nobody, you know.
yeah. I don't think it was slept on. I just don't think it was a lot of them made.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because I
So I would say that.
when I see it, I
Um,
see the yellow one more than I see the one you have. If I see it,
yeah,
so
yeah. I would say that one is probably the one for me, right? Like the one.
okay, all right, all right. Well, before we close off, do you have any other questions for me?
What's your most exclusive? I know you got all the heat.
Most exclusive, I have to pick just one. Just one.
See, look, they all exclusive.
Uh,
See?
it's not really exclusive, but the shoe that means the most in my collection will probably just be my Chicago ones because I've had them since 8th grade and I can still wear them. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely think they used to make shoes bigger because those are a 10 and a half and they fit like a 11 and a half in a Jordan today. They're oxidized, beat up. You know what I mean? They don't really have bad heel drag to be as old as they are, but they're old. So those, like, if the house, if I could only grab one, that would be the shoe I would grab because it's the shoe that started my collection. So that's probably the most. I mean, the most um, sought after shoe. I mean, I did get the Platinum Yeezy 2 from the company, and I do have the black one. So those those are up there. The Link Yeezy one, but they don't mean as much to me as they mean to other
You
people.
holler.
I'll say,
You holler right now.
no, I'm not trying to do
You're
that.
like, I mean, I do have these, but
But again, that Chicago one that I got, my dad bought for me for $50 from Champs and Towers.
yeah.
It still means the most, and you know, it's like nobody can ever say, "Oh, well, you just like Jordan ones because they hot now." It's like, no, bro, I've been like
Nah, yeah,
one.
exactly. We've been doing this.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
Do you find that it's harder for you now to like so like I know we love sneakers. Like we love them. There's stories behind them. That's the reason we love them. Like but do you find it harder now to like wrap your head around buying sneakers because we know, we talked about this a little bit. We know what they used to cost. And we know like what they used to, it's like, do we find it harder to like, okay, I'm gonna go get these now? And then be like, man, I used to have these and they were like you said, $50 or whatever.
it's tough. It is. I'm not gonna lie. Like the playoff 12s come back. My pair from 2004 is still wearable, but the bottom is not white. I mean, I could make them white, but the way I am, I'd rather just have a brand new pair and still have that pair. But
Mm,
yeah, it's tough at times because I mean, even dunks, like a pair of dunks costing $100 is just insane. Like
absurd. Absurd.
more than half the dunks I have, I paid less than $50 for because they were on sale. Like when I used to work for Foot Locker, probably because I've worked for Foot Locker so many times. When I worked for Foot Locker at Champs in Tower City, like '06, like we had at least 5 or 6 dunks that were just 19.99. Just take them away, get them
Yep.
out of here, please. So the
Yeah.
dunks are probably the hardest to wrap my head around because you remember back in the day, it used to be, oh well, if it's not SB, nobody cares. Now,
Yeah.
now these regular dunks that college colors are $250. So that's the hard thing: the resale and the possibility of paying resale because it's I'm not paying over for no shoe. If it's more than box, I can't get it.
I me either. I can't do it. That's what I was gonna ask you next. Like,
Uh, I'm
are we doing that?
I can't. It's just and then it's you got to be responsible. I'm a husband, father, homeowner. It's certain things I can't pay no $700-800 for no shoe. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not hating on anybody who does. I just can't do it.
So, what do you think of like, how do you feel or how do you measure the love of like the new generation of sneaker lovers, the younger kids that have grown up in this kind of sneaker community where resale and that type of stuff is normal compared to like how we kind of came up? Like, do you think that there will continue to be a sneaker community that's kind of like has the same, not love necessarily, but passion for sneakers the way we did in terms of like the stories and the this and that? Or do you think it's just hype for them now?
Before I answer this question, I had made a post a little while back, for younger sneakerheads and a lot of the lady sneakerheads. Before I say what I'm going to say, I'm not saying this to be a gatekeeper in any way. But what's the biggest difference between us doing it and the way a lot of the kids do it now is because it's the thing to do. Whenever I would bring a chick to one of my apartments and they would see the shoes, I was a weirdo. Why the fuck do you have all of these shoes? It wasn't the thing to do. Everybody was freaking their cars and putting screens in their cars, unnecessary rims. That was the thing to do. Having big ass chains. It wasn't really about the sneakers. You had sneaker heads, but now it's so mainstream, it'll never be like how it was for us. But I really try not to put down the sneakerheads. A lot of them just don't know. And I don't expect every sneakerhead to be the same. I like sneakers because I like sports. Jordans mean more to me if he wore them. Kobe's especially mean more to me if he wore them. So everybody's not into it for the same thing, but it'll never be like how it was. And I feel bad for the kids because, no matter where you are, you used to have to make relationships with people. Because hey, look, man, I need this. I've been shopping with you. Can you look out? Now it's all digital, so you can't make those relationships. That's another thing I feel like the younger sneakerhead is missing out on. Because I'll just say at the last location, I was really big on that because if I'm only seeing you for Atmos or for Space Jams, whatever, you're not really a customer. You just want the shoe that I'm going to sell whether you get it or not. Somebody else will buy it if you.
Yeah.
But are you in the store buying socks? Are you buying hats? Are you buying other shoes that aren't hype? So these kids don't know about building the relationships, and they can't because everything is digital.
Interesting. That's interesting. So then my last question for you is, so we grew up in the generation of the clean sneakers, the nice new creases are a problem.
Oh boy, I know where you're going with this.
How do you feel about the distressed sneaker situation?
Like I'll say I have distressed sneakers. Some sneakers are just old. Some sneakers I fucked up and just never got rid of. Like I have a pair of the T19 SB Dunks. They're just all blue, but I got scuffs on them like somebody skated in them.
Right.
Cause I messed them up. I'm like, well, I'm still going to just keep them. But the shoes that people are doing that with now are strange, where people are, wearing dirty white Air Force Ones. That's strange to me. It just is. And I see it a lot down here. You know what I mean?
Really?
Especially with certain demographics that weren't always known to wear said shoe.
Yeah.
So that's strange to me. But with certain shoes, it really doesn't look bad. Like, to me, if you have a pair of optical white Chuck Taylors, they actually look kind of cool if you beat them up. Some skate highs, Vans,
Yeah.
But not athletic shoes. Like, the only Nikes I can think of that you could wear after they've already been kind of beat are black cement 3s and, shockingly, infrared 90s. If they're a little dirty, neon 95s, if they're a little dirty, they don't really look that bad. You just can't go stepping in them. But, black cement 3s are really the only shoe. The more you wear them, the better they look.
Okay, I get with that. I will say that my hot take in sneakers is that I do have a pair of worn Air Force Ones. I'm not going to say they're dirty. They are worn. Like, I keep a fresh pair too.
Yeah.
But sometimes with the right fit, I just need a worn pair. But I get that. So my last question for you would be, and we talked about this a little bit. You talked about like having a family and kids and things like that, and the new sneaker generation. Um, how do you feel like your family, like your kids, things like that, feel about sneakers? Do you feel like you've been able to pass that on to them? Do you think that the new like era and timeline has kind of affected their view and passion or not passion for sneakers, or do you think that they're just like so disinterested? Like one of my friends, one of our like influencer friends, his daughter is like so uninterested in sneakers, and like he's known like you like, oh, he got that all, and she's just like, I just want a pair of Uggs. Like, so, like, how do you feel like that's like transitioned through your family?
Well, yeah, my son, he wants to look nice and he knows about stuff, but he's not like me or his mom, like, where he's looking for sneakers or asking for sneakers. He's more of a gamer, so I feel fortunate because he's already in a men's 11, so we're damn near the same size. If he gets a little bigger, it's like I might start trying to sneak my stuff to school or something. But um, I I want I want him to be himself. So if that's not him, I'll never force him to try to.
Yeah.
Um, aside from, I mean, if he really wanted something, I get it for him. Like the other, like this, not this Christmas, but Christmas before, he just randomly was like, "Can I get some infrared sixes?" And I'm like, "Infrared sixes, huh?" Just out of the blue, like they just in the store or something. So I heard now they like something like that. But yeah, he's not in it. But I really think that for him, his style is really I don't want to use the word basic, because basic is looked at as such a bad thing, but
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of plain, like he likes solid hoodie.
Classic. He has a
Yeah,
classic look.
real classic. He likes Jordan 1s, and but right now his go-to shoe is skate high. He just loves skate high. So I'm cool with that. But I really don't know how I would handle it being, because already me and my wife, like if he was a true hardcore sneakerhead, that would be kind of ill. You know what I mean? That would be kind of ill. So it's probably better that it's that way. But yeah, I don't know how I would handle it if he was. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's funny. So it's funny because my little cousin, she's like my mini me. Like her hair's the same color as mine. Like she's literally my mini me. So like since she's been born, like I've been bringing her in the stores and like buying her sneakers and stuff like that. So she's like into it, like not like super into it, but into it. But I find that funny you said like he asked for the infrared sixes. I find that she has no concept of time or like releases, and I don't know if that's because they're used to like coming up in like a resale world where it's like, well, it doesn't matter when it comes out because you should be able to get it like anytime.
Yeah.
But like she asked me the other day for Christmas, she asked me for the most random shoe, probably something like an infrared, and I'm like, girl, can you ask me for a shoe that's about to come out? Like at least like something that's not already like, if it's already out, I can't get it for you.
Yeah.
Like your foot is bigger than mine. Like we can't do this. Like
Yeah.
give me a future release. I might be able to work that out. But like there's no concept of time with them in these releases. And I remember we used to sit and look at magazines and websites like, what day does this come out again? They're just like, whatever. I should just be able to get it whenever. I'm like, what? No.
That's another difference between us and how we were and them. Because now with the information and the technology, you can literally get anything at any time. Where all we had was eBay, and if you were cool, like if you were on Nike Talk or one of those sites where they had a marketplace, you might find something on the marketplace. But it wasn't like
right.
Now you got Poshmark, you got Macari, you got Depop, you got all of these places, Grail, Go, StockX, where you can get anything. So yeah, that makes it different. I will say though, my son is a teenager now. When he was a little younger, I kind of had him in a mini-me thing where I would dress him, and he had got to the point where he was starting to do it himself before he kind of switched his style up and just went playing hoodies and whatever. He'd be like, I can do this and this. So I had him like
right.
for a while, but maybe for the last
See,
year and a half, he hasn't been on that.
I thought she was gonna grow out of it, but at this point she's 14. And like I was like, so you're really just me. Like this is just what it is now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, Zach says, he's like, you created her, you did that. And I'm like, I did. I know I did.
Yeah. Good times. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you, doing this.
Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem, no problem. Oh, one more question. So I know that you've been doing other things, but what's can you give me any info on the next sneaker ball, and is Six Kicks ever gonna come back?
So actually, the next sneaker ball is in the works. So we're still looking at September, October date. So it'll be somewhere late September, early October, hopefully dropping information somewhat soon. So hopefully everybody on here that's checked it out can take a trip to Cleveland, come visit, and have fun at Sneaker Ball. In terms of Six Kicks, I have been getting a lot of requests for it. I am thinking about bringing it back. I have some life news that I haven't updated yet, but I'll be dropping that soon. And once I drop it soon, hopefully that will help me roll back into bringing that back. So yeah, we're almost there.
Okay. Well, whatever that news is, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? So,
Thank you.
uh,
It's not a baby, by the way, before we even get there. He's like, okay.
I,
Clear that up.
I'm not saying it's kind of. I felt bad after I said the thing about the Maple thing, but I didn't really think it was a baby. I thought it was like some career or work stuff, because you've always been.
Yeah, I know you weren't, but I just knew
Yeah, other people might be
the
like,
comments were good.
Yeah, like you've always been so focused on what you wanted to do and thinking of the next thing. So, I already know whatever it is, it's gonna be big, and I'm very happy for you, whatever it is.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. So, before we go, tell the people where they can find you on social media or whatnot.
Absolutely. So I'm Sax Girl Genius. You can find me there. You can also follow like Sneaker Ball CLE. And yeah, that's me. You can find me on social media. All my social medias are Sax Girl Genius. So everything Sax with two X's. So most of the time, if you just Google Sax with two X's, I come up right under the underwear. So pretty easy to find.
No, yeah. Well, look again. Thank you so much for being on here, and I will definitely be in touch, checking on you. Sex, what's up? All that.
We got to get you to come down, and, come up to Cleveland.
Yeah. Or I mean, shoot. I mean, for real, I'm only like 4 hours away from the.
I was about to say that too. We're not too far away, so yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely. I mean, I'll definitely be back in Cleveland at least once this summer, if not more. So I'll definitely be back. I just I've kind of gotten used to not dealing with the snow. We had a couple ice storms down here, but it wasn't like the Cleveland snow.
Yeah, it doesn't really snow here either, and I'm kind of used to that too. But I like the weather. I like some weather.
That's why I wasn't coming back to All Star. I wasn't coming back if I wasn't going to none of the events, because I'm like, man, once it got past I was like, nah.
I mean, it was nice Sunday.
I'm sure. For sure, it was. I still have Cleveland TV, even though I'm here. I never changed the direct TV, so still get 3, 5, and 8 here. 19, 43, 55. So,
Me too.
when I look at the news, I have to disregard the weather. I'm like, well, shit, I ain't dealing with that shit. But don't hate me, y'all. I still love Cleveland. I still miss Cleveland. Don't hate me. Oh man, Shaker Heights forever.
Nah, I appreciate you having me. Thanks for inviting me. This was dope.
No problem. It was, and I'll definitely be in touch. But on behalf of my wonderful guest here, Sax Girl Genius, I'm Shorty C94. This was episode 68 of Shorty Sneaker Conversations. We will see you guys soon. Peace.